ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in for the wildest thrill ride of your life. So grab a snack and sit back because we're about to throw it down.
We've got the best three-wide action door-to-door racing on the turn number 4 you'll find on iRacing, right here live on the Full Velocity Racing Network.
We are about to crown tonight's champion, and it's time to let her dig.
We're restacked and repacked up for turn number 4. Who's it gonna be?
Outside him is going to be the 115 of Eric Tupper. Next row back is going to be the 05 of Chris West and the 17 of Christopher Long. Row behind that's going to be Aaron Brumbelow and Ronald Piles. And bringing up shotgun on the field is going to be Adam Scalia, I believe, in the 119 car. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But the pace car is going to pull it in, and we are green flag racing out of turn number 4. Derek Dryman with a really good start as he's going to throw it to the bottom side of turn number 1 and 2. And the field's going to sort it out now as they're going to pretty much be single file for the first top 5, as we're going to have a really good battle going on towards the back just outside the transfer spot. But it's Derek Dryman holding on to that top spot for the first lap go around, as you got Christopher Long in the 17 car making his way up to the front. But the top 3 pretty much starting to pull away from the field, as right now it looks like Derek Dryman, one of the only few cars to be working the bottom side all the way around this early on in the go-around. As you see the 23 of Robert Williamson trying to get something going up on the top side. As we come down the backstretch, we got a battle going on for the transfer spot between Chris West and Eric Tupper in the back. Now you got to enter Aaron Brumbelow into that mix along with Ronald Piles, as we got 4 cars battling for the final transfer spot, as the 01 of Aaron Brumbelow going to come out on the top side of that, holding on to the final transfer spot so far, as we are just 4 laps into this heat race. 10 laps is the distance. And Derek Dryman out front just pulling away from this field. He's opened up just about a 1-second gap on this lead. And he's pretty much seemed to be dialed in on this setup as he's working the bottom. And, you know, as he's starting to pull away, you'd be curious to see if Robert Williams would try to sort something out down there, since he's pretty far up with the transfer spot. As we're halfway through, coming out of turn number 4 to be lap 6, the field pretty much single file, pretty much everybody's spaced out there. Is the only close battle I can see right now is Eric Tupper and Ronald Piles battling for that 6th spot, as Eric Tupper's going to come out on the top side with it. And Aaron Brumbelow sitting 5th, and Chris West trying to make up some ground on the bottom. That is a sharp-looking 01 car, as he's going to try to hang on with only a few laps remaining here, as I believe this is going to be 2 to go coming out of turn 4 for your leaders, as we got a battle going on for the 3rd spot between the 55 of Mike Seaton and the 17 of Christopher Long. Seaton looking to run that middle and branch out to the high side on exit, and it looks like Long's going to stay tucked up on the high side, keep that momentum going, as now we are at the white flag lap. Derek Dryman and has had his lead diminish as Robert Williams has gotten to the back bumper. He's going to throw it down to the bottom side. Dryman's going to drift up to the top. We're going to be almost neck and neck coming off the corner, but give it to Dryman at the line for heat race number 1. Robert Williamson going to come in second, Mike Seaton third, Christopher Long fourth, and Aaron Brumbelow your final transfer spot in that 5th spot. All right, so heat race 1 down, heat race number 2 staging the field right now, as we're going to take a look through your lineup. Starting on the pole is going to be Frankie Gonzalez in the number 4, and should be starting outside outside front row in the 2nd spot is myself. However, I'm jumped up here in the booth, so that will put Adam Leike to the outside. Inside row 2 is going to be Rick Gibson in the 38. Outside of him will be the 88 of Gary Peck. Next row to the inside will be the 122 of Brandon Culp and the 16 of Brandon Little. Next row back will be the boss man Wiley in the 11 and Caleb Ramsey in the 13 car. So we got 8 cars in this field. Should have been 9, but we're going to have 8 with me jumping up into the broadcast booth. So the field going to be under the power of Frankie Gonzalez in that American Pride looking 4D car, as he's got a pretty sweet machine. And I believe Caleb Ramsey's not making the grid here, so we'll have 7 cars in total for heat race number 2. So now that we have the proper starting lineup here, we'll go and give you a fresh takedown of the lineup. It will be Frankie Gonzalez and Adam Leike on the front row, Rick Gibson and the 122 of Brandon Culp in row 2, Gary Peck and I believe that's the 11 of the boss man in row number 3, and shotgun on the field will be the 16 of Brandon Little. And the field going to come out of turn 4. The lights are going to go off on the pace car, or the pace truck, I should say. So we are going to get them loud and get them going fast in green flag racing next time coming out of turn number 4. Because we got a lot of sharp looking cars in this field. As we work down the back straightaway heading into turn number 3. Field slowly coming to the grid, as we're going to be looking for the green flag here sometime out of turn number 4, as the field's under the power of Frankie Gonzalez. He's going to get on the loud pedal. We are green flag racing. Gonzalez going to get a really good jump, and so is Gibson, as Gibson's going to have a run to the inside there of Adam Leike going into turn 1. He's going to be able to clear him going down the back straightaway. Gibson up to the 2nd spot working the bottom. Frankie Gonzalez trying to get something working in the middle, is now Gary Peck making a strong run on the bottom in that 88 machine. Gibson going to throw a slider on Leike, and that's going to allow Frankie Gonzalez to pull away a little bit further as he opens up about a 3 to 4 car length gap. Now we got a battle side by side, almost 3 cars for the 2nd spot, as Gary Peck right on the back bumper of Leike and Gibson coming down the back straightaway. Gibson's going to be able to hold on to that 2nd spot, but don't count Leike out on the bottom. He's had a pretty good run as he gets a great run through the apex. He just bobbles a little bit there, but now Gibson's starting to reel down Frankie Gonzalez as his lead's diminishing. Frankie working the top side in 1 and 2 as he brings it 3 and 4. Same thing up on the top side. Now Rick Gibson going to lose a little bit of ground, as we're going to have everybody pretty much single filed out for the top 4 again. The only side-by-side battle going on right now is the 2 Brandons between Brandon Culp and Brandon Little for that final transfer spot. As Brandon Little going to work the bottom side, he's going to have it coming out as Culp there bobbled a little bit out of 3 and 4. As Brandon Little starting to track down Gary Peck now working that bottom side in that multicolored 16 machine. And you see 2 grooves of racing, you know, a lot of really good runs that people are able to find, but it looks like the top 4 are starting to make some progress and headway here working that top side. as Frankie Gonzalez still your leader, working the top side. Gibson going to have a great run coming out of 4. It's good enough to get him to the back bumper. He's going to take a look down to the inside through 1 and 2, and Frankie able to hold that momentum on the top side and open that lead back up, and Gibson's going to follow in tow back on the top side. Is now back to the back with Brandon Little. He's found his way to the inside of Gary Peck. They're side by side coming down the front straightaway. Brandon Little going to work to the inside. Gary Peck with a little bit of momentum, keeping the progress on the top side. But don't count Little out on the bottom. He's made some very big gains working that bottom. As you see him there get almost even through the apex, but lose just a little bit of ground on entry. Little working that inside to perfection on Gary Peck for that 4th spot. As the top 5 transfers are pulled away and out of turn number 4 for the white flag, it's going to be Frankie Gonzalez for the win. Rick Gibson 2nd, Adam Lichty 3rd, Gary Peck's able to hold on for 4th, and Brandon Little will round out your qualifiers with that final 5th transfer spot. As it looks like we are going to skip the B mains tonight. They're going to say everybody's starting, and that's going to be a pretty good thing. We've got all 18 cars slated to start the feature, as we're going to have a slight warm-up session here. We're going to do the national anthem, so we're going to turn it down trackside for the national anthem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is an amazing sound to hear still, as September 11th, not too long ago, just a short couple of days ago, is, still remembering the tragic lives that were lost on that day, and still sends chills through my spine, around this time of year to hear that American national anthem. So we're going to do it justice tonight with some good old-fashioned dirt track racing here at VOLUSIA with the Pro Late models for blow-by racing, as we got a short little track pack session going on here. Some guys putting some work into the track, trying to get some particular grooves that they're trying out, trying to see what they like with their setup here for the feature race. And just to give you a quick recap here for your heat winners, Derek Dryman and Frankie Gonzalez, who have been pretty much at the top of the board all night. So that's going to be a pretty interesting battle to watch unfold here, as we weren't able to catch anything as far as that goes in heat racing. They were in separate heats, but I definitely think we are in for an amazing show here tonight. We got some talented drivers all the way from the front of the field to the back of the field, and a lot of green flag. I don't even think we had a caution at all in the heat races. So, I mean, some very talented drivers, some very patient drivers, and with a little bit of give and take, I think this 50 lapper is going to go off pretty amazing. And so, we got just a couple of more minutes here before we get this feature underway. We are going to step away for a little bit, let you enjoy the sights and sounds of the VOLUSIA Pro late models. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live here. We did say that the track had looked good enough to start the races a little bit premature here tonight. So the track officials making the determination that, track is packed in enough. Both lanes are looking really good and racy. And I believe I'd have to agree, as we saw some pretty good battles starting to form in the heat races, and the track's just starting to get even better as the night goes on and slicks off. But I'm going to quit my sporadic yapping here, and we're going to take a trackside for the 18 car starting feature lineup. Starting on the pole is going to be Derek Dryman. His outside is going to be the 4 car of Frankie Gonzalez. Row number 2 is going to be the 23 car of Robert Williamson. To his inside, or to his outside rather, and the 38 car is going to be Rick Gibson. Row number 3 on the inside is going to be the 55 of Mike Seaton. Outside of him is going to be the 018 of Adam Leichte. Next row back is going to be the 17 of Christopher Long and the 88 of Gary Peck. Row number 5 to the inside is going to be that sharp-looking 01 car of Aaron Brumbelow. And to his outside is going to be the 16 of Brandon Little. Row number 6 is going to be Chris West in the 05 on the inside, and to his outside in the 122, Brandon Culp. Row number 7 is going to feature the 115 of Eric Tupper to the inside, and to the outside, the number 11 of the boss man, Wiley. Row number 8 is going to have the 68 of Ronald Piles. That's Ragin' Ron and the sharp-looking Star Spangled Banner number 68. To his outside would have been myself in the 16th spot. Adam Scalia, I believe that's how you pronounce it, is going to start shotgun on the field in 17th. And Caleb Ramsey finaling out your 18-car field, as the lights are going to be off on the pace truck as we work down the back straightaway here. That's going to put the field in the hands of Derek Dryman coming out of turn number 4, as I'm going to have to take my shot here early before the green flag goes on here. I'm going to have to say keep your eye on that 38 of Rick Gibson. He looked pretty good in the heat race. Going to see if things can go his way here. So keep an eye on him. As the pace truck going to pull to the inside, the green flag's out, and Dryman on the loud pedal really fast. And he's going to get a good jump coming down into turn number 1 and 2, as he's going to sort it out sideways a little bit as he comes into out of 2 as he comes into turns 3, still holding the lead, as we've got cars 3 wide in the back there. Not sure exactly who that is racing, as we got 4 wide back for the 8th spot. Eric Tupper, Gary Peck, and that's Brandon Little in the 16 car. Now they're 3 wide. Gary Peck getting a little bent out of shape in the middle, as Eric Tupper now working the bottom. And Eric Tupper's going to take over that. I believe that's the battle for, yes, Eric's going to take over the 9th spot, as now we got a battle going on for the 3rd spot and the 5th spot. 4 cars battling it out there. Gibson on the bottom, Frankie Gonzalez to the top side, and now you got the 01 of Brumbelow and the 55 of Seaton in tow. 4 cars battling it out for the 3rd spot as Gibson now working the bottom through 3 and 4. He's going to have a good run on Gonzalez as Brumbelow looking to take a peek as he's going to snag that inside tire. Oh, there's going to be contact with Seaton and the caution flag's going to come out. Caution flag about 5-6 laps into this feature as we're going to take you through to the full velocity replay here. And it looks like Brumbelow just caught that inside tire coming out of turn 4. Just minimal contact with that tire, and it does so much damage as he's going to come up and catch the 55 of Mike Seaton, and that's going to be all she wrote. Brumbelow goes into the wall hard outside 1 and 2, and Seaton's going to be able to hang on to that 5th position. He's not going to fall back in line too far. So 5 laps into this 50-lap feature tonight, we see our first caution. Your running order for your top 5 looks like this. It's going to be Derek Dryman in 1st, Robert Williams in 2nd, Rick Gibson in 3rd, Frankie Gonzalez in 4th, and Mike Seaton in 5th. Now another thing to keep an eye on is how much damage did that do to that 55 car of Seaton. These late models, once they take a little bit of damage to that rear spoiler, it makes it very hard to run certain spots of the racetrack, especially when it slicks off. So keep an eye on that to see how this damage is going to affect the car, as we have just about 43 laps left in this feature. And they're going to be backing it up a little bit here, as the lights are going to go out this time on the pace truck, I believe. Yes, they are. So the lights are out on the pace truck as the field's going to begin to double it up. Going to give a shout out to the sponsors of BladeNode.com and iRacing iFlag. So the field going to double it up here just about a 1/5 of the way through this feature. Derek Dryman's still going to be your leader, as he's going to be on the power of the field coming out of turn number 4. And the iRacing.com pace truck pulls to the inside, and Dryman's going to get a great jump here, leaving the field way behind, as Gibson's going to have a shot for Williams in that 2nd position, as Gibson's going to have that spot as he powers off the bottom out of turn 2. Dryman now opening up probably a 5-6 car length lead, as we got cars going around in the back. Caution flag is going to come out right here as not even a lap back into the green flag run. Gonna go back to the replay and see exactly what happened here. The Blade Node replay, BladeNode.com replay. Looks like Ragin' Ron is gonna get into turns 3 and 4 a little bit of hot and heavy, as Brandon Little in the 16 had to back out of the throttle for Chris West, and Piles just didn't have enough time to get out of the throttle there, as they're gonna have a huge contact, and they're going to catch Gary Peck and Christopher Long in this as well. So 4 cars, as you see Brandon Little now coming down to the infield. Going to come down and have the pit crew check out that car and see if, how much damage is done to that machine, as it looks like they're sending them back out. So Brandon Little able to come back out and return in that 16 car. Not a lot of damage done with that contact. So the lights have been extinguished on the pace car once again. Derek Dryman again going to be the leader. Rick Gibson to his outside now, as Gibson's having some really good goes on the starts, but he's losing ground as the green flag run progresses. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can get something working with a good restart starting next to Dryman, as the pace car is going to lead the field into turns number 3 and 4 here at the Volusia Motorsports Park. Or Volusia Speedway Park, I apologize. And the iRacing.com pace truck going to pull down to the inside. Dryman's going to get on the loud pedal. He's going to have another good start, but not as good as the last one, as Gibson's hot and heavy on his tail. As now Williams going to dive to the inside of Gibson, but Gibson able to hang on to the outside there with the momentum. Derek Dryman now working the bottom again as we're going to have multiple cars in the whole field stacking up behind him. Huge caution as the BladeNode.com replay will be coming up again here shortly. Huge stack up on the back of the field coming out of turn number 4. Not sure exactly what happened there. Let's go back and take a look here. It looks like Brumbalow's going to get into the back of the 4D of Frankie Gonzalez, and it's going to pretty much Talladega effect from there, as it looks like the rest of the field going to stack it all up, as I can only count maybe 3 or 4 cars that were able to count their blessings and get through that unscathed. 6 cars going to jack everything up and cause a backed up parking lot there. So we've got a couple of cautions here to start the night out. Some pretty abused race cars, as it looks like the one that's going to take the worst brunt out of this one is going to be the 018 of Adam Likety and the 68 of Ragin' Ron Piles, as the back end of Ron Piles' car is all jacked up now. A lot of bent sheet metal on that race car. Okay, the lights are out once again. Field gonna double them back up, as we've had a couple of very quick cautions here. Haven't had maybe but a 4 or 5 lap green flag stretch here. Hopefully these drivers can calm down, as we've got a long road to tow still. We're not even halfway into this event yet, as Derek Dryman's gonna have the field in his hands once again on this restart. Rick Gibson had a really good start last time. Let's see if he can get a similar one and possibly a better one to challenge Dryman going into turn 1, as Dryman's going to be on the loud pedal again. It's a good start for Gibson, as he's only within a car length now. Gibson going to jump down to the bottom as he's to the back bumper of Dryman now, and Dryman's going to be able to pull away as Gibson's going to bobble coming out of turn 2. Gary Peck now working his way up to the 5th spot in that 88 machine. He's making his way to the front as he's now battling the 05 of Chris West, as the top 3 cars are going to run single file. It looks like Gibson and Dryman are going to start to pull away. Gary Peck now looking to try to get underneath both Williams and West in turns 3 and 4. Gary Peck now trying to get to 4th, and he does. He's going to have him clear a little bit of contact there in 1 and 2, and Gary Peck now underneath Williams for 3rd. Gary Peck having a hot rod on the bottom side here. He's found whatever Dryman and Rick Gibson's found, as Williams trying to hang on for life to that outside. Oh, Gary Peck's going to get into the wall, and that's going to stack up right in front of Chris West. West's going to be able to cross him over and take that position back. And now you got Gonzalez on the back bumper of Gary Peck, as the top 2 of Derek Dryman and Rick Gibson have just pulled away from this field, as they've opened up probably about a 8 to 10 car length, and now Gary Peck shot out of a cannon from the inside, as he's going to take back that position from Gary West, as he's going to enter low, hoping to get clear coming off of turn number 4, and he will. Gary Peck back to 4th, as Williams has pulled out maybe about a half a second lead over those as well, as now we got a 4-car battle, a little bit of contact between it's Brumbelow, Frankie Gonzalez, Little, and West. They are 4 cars battling for position, as we got the back of the field starting to catch. Now bring the rest of this field into tow. Eric Tupper going to try to go underneath Brumbelow. The back of the field putting on a lot of good racing. Frankie Gonzalez inside of Brandon Little. Tupper inside of Brumbelow, not much to give. And now Brumbelow going to find some grip coming around the top side, as we are just about halfway here. As we're just about 2 laps shy of halfway, I should say, as Frankie Gonzalez now up to the 8th position looking for 7th, as Tupper's right on his back bumper in that 115 car. So a 3-car battle, as now the 018 of Adam Likety going to bring his nose in, and Brumbelow now going to get a good run on the 16 of Likety coming down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. This racing is just heating up now, as we are halfway home, 25 in, 25 laps to go. Derek Dryman still your leader, as he's opened up about 3/4 of a second lead over Rick Gibson. And Gibson's starting to fall back a little bit here in this green flag stretch. Gary Peck able to get a little bit of ground between Chris West, and the top 4 cars are pretty well separated out from the rest of the field, as the only real battle that I'm seeing right now on the track is the 018 of Lakey and the 4D of Frankie Gonzalez, as those drivers are battling it out hard back here. And now Piles is going to enter the mix, and he's going to bring the 17 along in tow, as we got the 01 and the 16 getting together and stacking them up. Tupper's going to get by both of them on the bottom. He's going to have a 2-for-1 coming down the back straightaway. Everybody able to keep it straight and going. But we stay with Frankie Gonzalez and Adam Lakey. And now Eric Tupper working on West for the 5th position. He's going to have that spot coming into turns 3 and 4. He's got a good run coming down the straightaway. Eric Tupper now making moves, as he's going to pull away and open up just about a car length going into turn 1. Eric Tupper started way back in the 13th spot, and he's up to 5th with just about 20 laps to go in this feature event here at Volusia Speedway Park for the Pro Late Models. Barring a caution flag, it's pretty much going to be all spread out evenly for your top 5 cars. Not really much to stack up, as the field's starting to spread out a little bit. As just as I say that, we're going to have another caution, as not sure exactly what happened there. So we're going to have to go back and take a look at this BladeNode.com instant replay. All right, it looks like the 17 of Christopher Long is just going to get a good run coming out of the corner here. And he's going to just barely tag the right rear, or the left rear, sorry, of the 4D of Frankie Gonzalez. And that's going to send Frankie around and bring the caution flag out. Frankie Gonzalez, who started outside front row for this feature race here, he has not had a good night so far, being caught up in a couple of bad wrecks there, as Frankie Gonzalez is not going to be able to continue. He's going to pull his car pit side, and he's going to call it a night here, as he's going to be currently scored in the 12th position. And we are going to have the lights out on the race car, or lights out on the race pace truck, rather, not the race car, sorry. And no, we're not. Lights are still on. So still under caution here. Hopefully the lights will go out this time by and we can go back to green flag racing. Okay, so the lights will go out on the pace truck this time by. And now we will go green flag racing out of turns 3 and 4. It's going to be Derek Dryman and Rick Gibson once again, as Gary Peck's going to be starting outside 4th and Tupper's going to be 5th. Tupper and Peck, 2 drivers that had really good runs there toward the end of that last green flag run. Going to be interesting to see if they can get their way through the couple more cars here and possibly challenge Dryman for that top spot. As Derek Dryman now going to get on the loud pedal. He's going to have a really good jump here going into turn 1. He's going to stay married to that bottom side. Rick Gibson now taking over the 2nd spot again. No, he's going to have a challenge there by Robert Williams. There's going to be a little bit of contact, and that's going to bring Gary Peck and Eric Tupper to the back bumper, as they're side by side for the 4th spot. And side by side for 2nd still is Robert Williams and Rick Gibson, as we're side by side for 2 rows here from 2nd to 5th. And we got a little bit of contact there in the back between Brumbelow and Piles, but everybody's able to keep it straight. Eric Tupper now working under Gary Peck for that 4th position, and Tupper's going to have a really good run on Williams as well. So Eric Tupper making some progress here on the bottom. He's come from 13th, he's up to 4th. See if he's going to be the hard charger. So far he's been. But it's been all Derek Dryman so far, and he's led all 38 laps so far of this event. Rick Gibson and Williams still going to be battling it out for 2nd. Tupper and Gary Peck still side by side for that 4th spot. Gary Peck gets a good run on the outside of Tupper. He's going to thread the needle and go to the inside of Williams. Now for that third spot through 3 and 4, they're going to be 3 wide in the middle of 3 and 4, but Tupper's going to just run out of real estate and have to back out of the throttle a little bit. Gary Peck moving now up to the third position as he's got a good run coming down the back straightaway. And now these two battling it out. They're starting to reel in Rick Gibson. Gary Peck working the inside, still side by side at the line, but it's going to be Gary Peck having it just barely. He's going to have a really good run now coming out of turn 2. He's not going to have him cleared just yet as Robert Williams holding on to desperate life up on that top side. As now Rick Gibson's gonna work up to that top side and try to get some ground here on your leader. But they're still pulling away from the rest of the field here. And now we're back to a 3-car battle as Eric Tupper is going to stick his nose in under the back of Gary Peck. Eric Tupper starting to look like he's a little bit faster than the 2 cars in front of him in that 5th spot. Going to be interesting to see if he's going to play this risky or not. 3 cars, we're hooked on this battle for the 3rd position. This has been the best battle for probably the last 15 laps of this race. Gary Peck holding true on that bottom. Robert Williams hanging tough on the outside as Gary Peck's going to slide it up a little bit. That's going to give Tupper room on the bottom now. Eric Tupper now working under Gary Peck. Robert Williams holding on to that 3rd spot. Gary Peck trying to get a run on the outside now. We've seen Gary Peck go from the bottom to the top to try to get ground here, and he's making it work as he pulls back out of front of Tupper. Is Rick Gibson now closing the gap on your leader? It's now down to just a 1-car length gap. Dryman has went from the bottom to the top side to try to protect as Gibson's making a hard charge for that lead. Still having a battle of a lifetime between Williams, Gary Peck, and Eric Tupper, though, for that 3rd spot. Derek Dryman now gonna have his hands full as Rick Gibson has caught him. Is Gibson gonna be able to have anything for him now as we're gonna come into turns number 3 and out of turn number 4? The white flag is in the air for Derek Dryman. Is Rick Gibson going to be able to get there as they work themselves through 1 and 2? Dryman going to carry some momentum down the back straightaway. He's opened up to about a 3 to 4 car length lead now. Gibson going to try to throw it on the bottom, but out of turn number 4, it's going to be Derek Dryman leading all 50 laps here at Volusia for the Pro Late models. Rick Gibson going to finish in 2nd. Robert Williams going to hang on to that 3rd spot. Gary Peck's going to be 4th. Eric Tupper's going to round out your top 5. Aaron Brumbelow is going to be 6th. Brandon Little 7th. Chris West 8th. Ragin' Ron Piles with a 15th to 9th tonight. And Christopher Long's going to round out your top 10. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take just a short break here. Try to get all the drivers from the top 3 together for a quick little interview here post-race. And we'll be back live from Volusia Speedway Park here with the top 3 in just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to be able to get a word in with Robert Williams and the race winner Derek Dryman as we're unable to find them here in the infield. However, we do have your 2nd place runner-up tonight. It's going to be Rick Gibson. So let's bring Rick Gibson down here for his interview. Rick Gibson, you had a pretty hot rod machine here. Towards the end of the race there, you started closing ground on Derek Dryman. You know, what could you have done different, or what was the track like that helped you get that run going there towards the end of the race?
I think the bottom started to slick off pretty well, so I think there's still some meat up top. I just wish I could have or would have went up there a little bit sooner and ran him down, but I think once he saw me running the high line and closing him down, he went up there and just kind of got the line from me and couldn't really get a chance to get a run on him to do a slider or try something on him.
I tell you had the bottom side and 1 and 2 working really well for you on those restarts as you were just shot out of a cannon on the bottom side out of turn number 2. And then towards the end of the race, you started working up towards the high side. Where did you see that your car was working better for you on the long-term green flags or, on the restarts? Because we'd see you start out on the restarts on the bottom, but then as the course of the green flag went on, you'd start working your way back up to the top.
I figured over the long run, I could tell I kept on running down Derek slowly, lap by lap, but restarts I really wasn't getting up there with him. He was getting a pretty good hole shot, so I was just trying to bide my time, keep up with him, and yeah, I was just trying different lines, and then hooked up on the top, and it was just a little too late for that one.
All right, we're going to hand you the microphone one more time. Just anybody and everybody that helps make this possible for you out there, give them a shout out.
Well, I want to say thanks to everybody at Blow By Racing for putting on this event and hosting it, and you guys over at Full Velocity. And I know you had to step in last minute, so that's always greatly appreciated. All the guys back at HAR and everybody who came out tonight and watched, and all the drivers who came out and ran and raced a good race.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there is your second place finisher, Rick Gibson. As I think we may have been able to find
User
your
was
race
moved out of
winner,
your channel.
Derek Dryman. So we're going to get a word in here with Derek Dryman. Let's bring him down here.
User was
Tonight's
moved to your
winner,
channel.
Derek Dryman. Derek, you had the hottest car out there tonight. You led all 50 laps from green to checkered. You know, towards the end of the race there, you started having a little bit of a battle with Rick Gibson, but other than that, you seem to pretty much have this field under your control the whole entire night. Take us through your night.
Well, I came out here, just last minute decision pretty much. Saw it was up, decided to come out here and try it out. Car felt good in qualifying. Uh, Heat race, track being tacky, it was pretty much full throttle. I wanted it to be on the bottom. That's where I like to be here. But, it is what it is. For the feature, it was green flag runs. The car got really, really good, and then it started fading away. But I can't be complaining with the position I finished. So
All right, so towards the end of that race, we saw you go from running the bottom side really dominant, and we saw Rick Gibson start to close in on you there on the top. And then you moved up to the top side. Did the bottom side start to lose grip as the night slicked off, or did you just finally find some a little bit more grip up there on the top side?
no, you're having to baby it towards the end of the race on the bottom. You could drive it in pretty deep, but you had to wait a lot longer to get on the gas, especially in turns 1 and 2. For the longest time, turn 2, you could drive it in pretty deep as hard as you wanted to, and then pretty much get right back onto the fuel. And then turns 3 and 4, you could drive it in pretty deep and then wait for a minute and then get right back on it. But towards the end, you were pretty much halfway throttle around the entire corner. Seeing that he was catching me, so I had to go do something.
All right, Derek, we're going to throw you the microphone one more time. Just give everybody that helps make this possible for you a little shout out there. And congratulations on your 50 lap domination here for the pro late models here at VOLUSIA Speedway Park.
I want to appreciate you. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all putting this on. I want to thank my teammates over at Mud Duck Racing, all of the sponsors over there, TNA Hepner Trucking, Durkee Dudes, Russell Brown Race Cars, Hanover Wrecker Service, Borden and Wayne Restoration, Rolls iRacing Photography, iRacing iFlat, and Walltap.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's your winner tonight in the 444. That's Derek Dryman.
User was moved out of your channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up your interviews here tonight. My name's Brett Rolls, filling in for Phil and Todd here on the Full Velocity Racing Network. Want to give a huge shout out to all their sponsors. Sorry, I'm not really familiar with all of them. I know there's a couple of them. I know there's BladeNode.com, Hanover Wrecker Service, iRacing iFlag, and Boyles Trucking, Har Motorsports, TDR Racing, South Texas Speedway, Trash Eichstad Reps, Trash Panda Graphics. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap everything up here. Want to give a huge shout out to Jack for working the controls here tonight. Hope everything was all right with everything going on, behind the scenes here for me to fill in tonight. Everybody have a good night here. Congrats to Derek Dryman on the win once again. And we are going to call it a night here from the Volusia Speedway Park. Good night, everybody.